As a senior BBC Radio 2 announcer, may I say that the generosity of the great British public has never ceased to amaze me. Good evening. As a senior BBC Radio 2 announcer, may I say again that the generosity of the great British public has never ceased to amaze me. Good evening. As a desperate senior BBC Radio 2 announcer, is this microphone working?
The truth is that the great British public is fed up with you begging for money each week with that tin mug of yours. They know that they're far more deserving causes than you.
Oh.
Introduce me.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, what was the name again?
Jimmy Cricket. Thank you, madam.
And there are few more deserving cases than Jimmy Cricket, star of Jimmy's cricket team.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's very welcome and kind of you. I've been away, folks. I've been learning a little bit of French. Well, I want to take my act around the world, and the other night I went to a restaurant and I ordered the complete meal in French. The waiter was surprised. It was a Chinese restaurant. I said, "What's the soup?" He said, you can have either bok, 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 or mushroom. I said, "Pardon?" He said, "You can have either bok, 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 or mushroom." I said, "Why did you do an impression of a chicken?" He said, "I can't do a mushroom." And who should come through the door, ladies and gentlemen, but my old chum from school days. I used to play in the band with him. Well, I used to be in a marching band, but that was no good because they had me on the piano. And then I joined the brass band. I was on the triangle. Oh, it was lovely. I used to go, ting. I was heavily featured on big songs like, "What is this ting called love?" Anything you can do, I can do. And then one day, ladies and gentlemen, I left my triangle down on the chair and I accidentally sat on it. Aww. The bandmaster threw me out. He said I had a bum note. And I was dreading telling my mommy and daddy, as I walked down that street. As I took the key and started to open the front door, I thought, what am I letting myself in for? And there was my mum and dad sitting in the living room drinking a pint of Australian lager each. I realised, folks, yeah, they were foster parents. Can I help you?
I'm a retired knit nurse.
We both are.
Yes, but how can I help you?
Years of service and self-sacrifice we've given.
We both have.
Years of service and self-sacrifice? To what?
Knit hunting.
We both have.
And now that I'm a retired knit nurse...
We both are.
Why can't they show films on television that bring pleasure to retired knit nurses?
Pleasure?
I didn't know there were films made specially for knit nurses.
Never show our favourite.
Never show it.
Which is the knit nurse's favourite film, then?
The Searchers. I like that one.
We both do.
I'll see what I can do.
Have it shown at our local cinema, the Gaumont.
And where's that?
Itchin. We live there.
We both do. Meanwhile, back at the Grange...
Get off your bum!
Back at the Grange, Sylvia had decided to leave. He didn't want to, but life was becoming unbearable.
And I must warn you that if you are of a sensitive nature, don't listen to this next piece because it'll tear your heart out. I'm going for a cup of tea. I just can't listen to it.
Arnold lad?
No, lass.
You're looking haggard and fraught, lad. Tell me why you're looking haggard and fraught. I've shouldered enough burdens with this family to be able to take it. Tell me, lad.
I've been told that they don't want me anymore in Grimshaw and Bickerdyke's prize silver brass band.
Nay, lad. Nay, thrown out of Grimshaw and Bickerdyke's prize silver brass band.
Who has?
You.
Happen?
Just don't believe it. You were a finest cornet player who ever cocked a lip.
Thrown out.
Who told you, lad?
Who told me what?
That you've been thrown out of Grimshaw and Bickerdyke's prize silver brass band.
Young Mr. Bickerdyke.
What did he say, lad? I've got to know what he said.
About what?
About you being thrown out of Grimshaw and Bickerdyke's prize silver brass band.
Happney said I had bandsman's droop.
I had noticed. Who's taking your place, lad?
Seth Applethwaitethorpe.
Seth Applethwaitethorpe? Seth Applethwaitethorpe couldn't blow his own nose.
Happen me days as a bandsman are over now, lass.
Arnold, lad, you've still got your pigeons.
No, lass. I've tried playing a pigeon and I can't get a note out of it. I get a mouthful of feathers. And they have a very nasty way of getting their own back.
Hey, look who's coming. It's Charlie Farley and Eric Merrick.
We heard, Arnold.
Oh, it's a filthy business, Arnold.
Happen.
He's my man, and he's still got a good few blasts left in him yet.
Not anymore, lass.
We thought you might fancy a pint down at Bladder and Giblets.
Happen a pint at the Bladder and Giblets will book you up, lad.
You mean you haven't heard?
Heard what?
They've closed it down.
Oh, they never close down Bladder and Giblet.
They have. It's been bought.
Bladder and Giblets been bought.
Bought?
What has?
Bladder and giblets.
Aye, couple what's bought it called here this afternoon.
What did they say?
They said... I'm a retired nurse.
We both are.
Hello, I'm a stupid man.
Hello, stupid man.
Do you think that this is a stupid question? It probably is because my head's full of jolly robins.
What's the stupid question, stupid man?
Well, what I'd like to know is, if we didn't have wardrobes, what would we put our suitcases on top of?
I don't think that's a stupid question.
This one is, where does our lap go when we stand up?
That's one for the winner of Mastermind.
Are you going to do something stupid now?
Have a listen. See what you think. And now, for the benefit of those of you who may have missed episode 6 of our 4-part drama, let me tell you about last week. You may remember that last week Hester had to leave with all possible haste.
Boring is this? Dead boring.
Few would argue with that. Hester was beside herself, and the two of them left on a tandem. Nevertheless, one very important question still remained unanswered. How is it that when you get out of the bath and cut your toenails, you always find a piece in your slipper?
Regrets? I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention.
Don't mention it. Oh, not again.
I've called for the envelope.
Ah, it'll be behind the clock with the 300 other envelopes. Let me see. Now, are you Help the Gorilla, Save an Eskimo, or Hands Off Our Coconuts?
I'm not one of those.
Of course, the WI, the Women's Institute. You donated a bench in the park to the old folks. It collapsed and two of them are in hospital.
No, I'm not in the WI. I'm in the WA.
I could have sworn you were WI.
No, WA.
Well, what's WA?
A woman alone.
Have you always been a woman alone?
I had a husband once.
What happened?
What's happened? You could have shown it on Play School if it was still going.
And it's all over?
I was separated from my husband.
Why?
I had him by the throat.
Oh.
He said it was disgraceful, the money I was spending every week making myself look beautiful. The facials and the hairdos, the creams and the lotions and the potions and the massages, pushing things in and pulling things out so that I'd look like a nymph.
A nymph?
An object of beauty. I wanted him to desire me. I wanted him to look at me and feel his heart pounding and clanging and banging like a ferret in an upturned bucket. To arouse the fiery frenzy and fulfill his requirements. Bring his pangs and urges. Bring them to the boil and leave him battered and shattered under an avalanche of love, such as no man had ever experienced. Battered and shattered. Oh, it wasn't meant to be.
Why not?
Matron said it was too late and he had to have his cocoa and go to bed.
Well, that was a bit of a letdown.
I asked you, is it any wonder
Is what any wonder?
that I'm a woman alone?
Meanwhile, back at the Grange...
Get off your bum!
Back at the Grange, the aged Dowager Marchioness was experiencing a slight problem. "It must be more than 50 years since I last played croquet," she said, as she tried to get her head out of the hoop. Meanwhile, there was also a slight problem in the guest bedroom.
Good night, Wilfred.
Good night, Veronica.
Wilfred,
What is it, dear?
you're snoring, whistling, and popping. It's been a long day and I'm very tired.
I'm so very sorry, dear. Good night, Veronica.
Good night, Wilfred. Wilfred!
What is it now, Veronica?
You're doing it backwards. First it was snore, whistle, pop. And now it's pop, whistle, snore. It really is too much. I'm worn out, Wilfred. Now please stop it.
I'm ever so sorry, Veronica. Good night.
Good night, Wilfred.
I'm asleep. Ladies and gentlemen, come here. It isn't often that I get a little piece and... That's enough, hold it, that's enough, Uppin.
Enough, Uppin.
We're the three Herberts.
International Acrobats extraordinaire, mate.
Very extraordinaire.
Yes.
I'll say you are. I've never seen you do any acrobatics in all the years you've been barging in on this show.
Did you hear what he said, Herbert?
God, I couldn't believe it, Herbert.
Call yourselves acrobats? You just go around hopping.
What's wrong with that? Hey, up!
Yes, you explain yourself.
You.
Me?
Yeah. Look, cup your hands between your knees.
What, like this?
Perfect.
What do you want me to do next?
Now, you put one foot in his hands.
Me? Put one foot in his hands? Why?
So he can hurl you up and backwards 20 feet.
Do what?
Throw you 20 feet in the air.
Well, there's stairs over there. I could use them instead.
You must be the worst acrobats in the whole world.
I'll have you know that we've appeared before crowned heads.
Crowned heads.
Name one.
Yeah. Well, yes, we one with a beard.
One with a beard, yes.
Right, the one with the beard, yeah.
Well, which one with the beard?
Victoria.
Victoria?
King Victoria.
Yeah, little beard he had.
Yes, God bless him.
Victoria was a queen. Queen Victoria.
Oh.
Well, I was right then.
You was right, Herbert.
Yeah. When I saw that king with the beard and wearing a frock, I said to Herbert, what did I say, Herbert?
You said, let's do the act as quick as we can and nip off out of here a bit sharpish.
And you can both nip out of here a bit sharpish as well.
Oh, glad to.
He hasn't got a beard.
Oh, that doesn't mean a thing these days. Let's go. Meanwhile, back at the Grange, the aged Dowager Marchioness was in a state of some considerable distress over her lost youth. She'd looked everywhere for him. Lord Algie had invited Lady Marjorie into the greenhouse for a grapple. She agreed, thinking it was something like a Cox's orange pippin. She was in for a surprise, unlike this man whose life is full of surprises.
My name's Marlowe, Philip Marlowe, Private Eye. My other eye's very quiet. I can't get a peep out of it. I was hungry. I fancied a pizza, so I called in at Gino Pinelli Cavati's place. I was always made welcome by Gino Pinelli Cavati. Gino came over to my table.
By the heck, lad, it's grand to see you. Sit yourself down, I'll fetch you one of me pizzas. Grand to see you, Mamma Mia and flipping heck.
There's a lot of talk going around town about your new pizza, Gina.
By the heck, it's the finest Italian pizza what I've ever made, and no mistake. Oh, solo mio.
What's it made of?
It's a pig's trotter pizza. A pig's foot trotter.
I didn't fancy eating a pig's foot. If I didn't digest it properly, it could kick me to death from the inside. I was on my way back to the office when I saw him.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain.
Look out!
Ahoy!
I fished him out of the river. He was in a bad way and needed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I looked at him and I didn't feel well. Here was a guy desperate for help and I couldn't give it to him.
No, but I can.
Are you a trained nurse?
What's that got to do with it? I've got to help him.
Why?
Because I'm a woman alone. This is desperate. Mouth to mouth. Here we come.
She went to work on him. Boy, did that dame go to work on him. I think he's coming round.
You mind your own brat business.
I'm feeling a lot.
Shut it, you're exhausted.
He will be in a minute.
I'll take him home with me. He's weak from his struggle.
He's not weak.
I haven't got him home yet.
And you're not going to.
Why have you jumped in the river?
I'll make a living out of this.
What a day. If I thought my troubles were over, I had another thing coming. When I got back to my office, there were two middle-aged dames waiting for me. And I knew when they spoke that I'd walked right into trouble.
I'm a retired knit nurse.
We both are.
And my name's Marlowe, Philip Marlowe, Private Eye. I retired just before you got here.
I'm delighted to welcome back onto the show, at the request of all our older listeners, the senior citizens' very own pop group. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard of New Kids on the Block? Please welcome Old Cocks on the Snuff. It really is a joy to have you back on the show.
Well, it's very nice to be back here with members of the group. There's our very own Ada. She knows every song ever writ.
It ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it.
Yes, well, you can save that for the outing. And over here we have Bert.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
He's all talk, is Bert.
Kiss me goodnight, Sergeant Major.
No need to ask why he got court-martialed.
What are you going to sing for your many OAP fans?
Well, it's a song that was first made famous by a young lad called Rich Clifford.
You mean Cliff Richard?
Did he sing it as well? It must be a popular song.
I'll introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, singing one of Cliff's greatest hits, Summer Holiday, it's the Old Cocks on the Snuff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
5, 6, 7, 8.
9, 10, 11.
Will you give over? I'm counting us into the song. 1, 2, 3, go. We're all going off to see the chiropodist. No more walking for a week or two. We're all going off to see the chiropodist. Our feet will be black and blue.
Excuse me.
On your back.
I've got to go on the sides of the radish.
And I've got a banyan too.
Just a minute.
Shut it. And I can't get me boots on, so there's just one thing to do. Yes!
What?
I'm all going out to see the chiropodist. No more football for a week or two. We're all going out to see the chiropodist. He'll make our feet good as new. Make our feet good as new. Mummy!
If I jump in quick, I'll just have time to read this letter from me mammy. Dear Jimmy, your father went to a party the other night and he came home a bit worse for wear. He was an hour trying to get his singlet off. I said to him, try taking your accordion off first. He used to waken himself up snoring every night, but he's cured it now. He sleeps in the next room. He went to the doctor, and the doctor told him to drink a hot glass of orange after a hot bath. That was 3 weeks ago, and he's still drinking the hot bath. He's very busy at the moment cutting the grass. It was getting a bit long. We had to stand up to watch television. We watched Sky last night. The landlord said he'll mend the hole in the roof next week. At long last, we've managed to get rid of that creak that used to drive us mad on the stairs. He's gone back to Athens. It's not all bad news, son. I'm thrilled to the quick to be able to tell you that your Aunt Nora is at long last going to have a hip replacement. She's waited a long time, but at long last they found a suitable elephant. She can't manage the stairs to get to bed at night, and the sooner she gets her new hip, the better, because she could have a nasty accident climbing up that drain pipe. That's all for now. Lots of love, Mammy. P.S., and there's more. I knew I shouldn't have had kippers for my tea. They always repeat on me. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. To introduce them would be an insult to the most loved and respected husband and wife singing duo in the world of musical comedy. Yes, you know who I'm referring to, folks. It's Daphne and Cyril Billington. I've never known an audience to show such affection.
And I'm the first to own that all of that affection is for my dear wife and greatly talented stage partner, Daphne. They adore her, as do I.
My sweet, it's an affection I must share with you.
Darling Daphne.
Cyril, my darling.
Love you.
Love you.
Oh, that's a joy in this day and age to see a married couple in our business sharing so much love and affection for each other.
Well, how could it be otherwise with such a ravishing creature as my dearest Daphne?
Heart of my very heart. Darling, Cyril has been an absolute tower of strength to me throughout my career.
I can well believe it.
He's always given me great support.
If I hadn't, you would have fallen flat on your face. I must say that our present tour...
Hey, just turn back a couple of pages. I think I might have missed that last bit. That bit about falling flat on my face.
What Cyril was trying to say was that somebody with a lesser talent than yours, Daphne, would have fallen flat in front of an audience.
So very true.
I must have misunderstood you, darling.
Tell me about the show you're touring with at the moment.
Well, we're having tremendous success in recreating the songs made famous by those sweethearts of the silver screen who are just as popular now as they were 50 years ago.
I know exactly who you mean.
Doesn't everyone?
Jeanette, Eddie, and Nelson's Column. We find their songs.
Who?
Jeanette, Eddie, and Nelson's Column.
Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy.
Is it?
Yes.
I'll remember next time. I'll remember a few things next time.
Anyone can make a mistake, Cyril.
Indeed, and one must appreciate that dear Daphne is working under a slight handicap.
I didn't know that.
Yes, she's only had the one. Now...
That's bullshit. Do you see them wrinkles in his face? Pain, that is. Pain, what's causing them wrinkles?
Cyril's in pain.
So would you be if your appliance had just come back from the welders and they'd left a bolt sticking out?
Now, Daphne...
Can we stick to the world of musicals? What about One Night of Love?
One night of love, one night of pig in love. I have to put my name down 6 months in advance.
The Merry Widow.
I will be by the time I get him home, you useless dollar.
Daphne. I have never been witness to such unprofessional behavior in all my years in the business.
Well said, Cyril.
It breaks my heart to have to say this, but I believe that you have just totally and completely destroyed our careers forever, and that our public, once loyal, will feel nothing but disgust.
I don't know what to say.
Cyril, you must keep the act together.
He's right. My darling, I'll never, ever lose my temper again. I give you my word.
Well, for the sake of our public, I think we should make one final effort.
How did Bittersweet go down last week?
With Daphne, it went down by the gallon.
He's done it again. He's piggy well done it again. Shall I tell him about stout-hearted men? Especially the third one on the left.
Daphne, I don't think we need to go into that.
I think you should both go through that door. Out!
Oh, no, I don't think that's altogether necessary.
There were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit up more than I could chew. God bless you, Governor, you're a tough.
Never mind busking. Read the credits.
Credits? Oh, right. That was, what was it?
Jimmy's cricket team.
Oh, were you in it?
Of course I was in it.
Good Lord. And it was good? Blige me. That was Jimmy's Cricket Team, starring Jimmy Cricket, with Bill Pertwee, Peter Goodright and Noreen Kershaw. The script was written by Eddie Braben, and Jimmy's Cricket Team was an independent production for Radio 2 by Mike Craig Enterprises. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spat it out. Get off your bum!
Thank you.
Lots of pretty bubbles, big fat bubbles in the air.
88 and